I'm Chris.
I'm Angie.
Welcome to JailBreak Overlander. We're at the Buffalo River here in the Ozarks.
Nice. It's amazing where you run into subscribers. But at any rate, it seems like just the other day I put up an ALUCAB video, the one called 1,000 Nights in My Rooftop Tent, a tent that I've owned for over 5 years, made by ALUCAB. Well, I'm making another video on a new tent by ALUCAB, and the tent's called the LT-50. It's a smaller version of my Generation 3. It's a smaller, lighter, less expensive version, and in my opinion, this thing goes directly against the Go Fast Campers tent, rooftop tent, and I've seen both of these in real life, and I'll tell you what, and I'll say it right now, and I'm not sponsored by ALUCAB, the ALUCAB blows away the Go Fast Campers tent by a lot. First of all, it's only $26.99, and this is a tent you'll own for the rest of your life. The Go Fast Campers tent starts at $4,000, and it's a really nice tent, but it isn't the ALUCAB. The GFC tent is good for 3 seasons, but I would not use it year-round whatsoever at all because the fabric just isn't up to task. I was literally on the razor's edge of replacing my ALUCAB Expedition 3 with a Go Fast Campers tent until I really got my hands on one and realized it's very lightweight. That's the whole thing. It's made to be lightweight. And they claim it's a 4-season tent, but it isn't. It just isn't. The fabric is not up to task. ALUCAB uses the same fabric, the same dual zippers, the same technology they use in all their tents on the LT-50, which makes it a perfect 4-season tent. And it's cheaper, just as well made, if not made better, and you can use it year-round. That's the whole thing, in my opinion. I don't want to be trapped where I'm in a tent and freezing my butt off because that absolutely sucks. At any rate, let's take a look at this tent because this thing is beautiful. It's basically a mini version of the Expedition 3, which is a phenomenal, phenomenal tent. The first thing we're going to compare is the overhang. Look how much my Expedition 3 overhangs my Front Runner Slimline 2. I've got about 1.5 inches on each side hanging over the rack. But on the new LT-50, look at all the space you've got. And as a matter of fact, you could have brackets made where you didn't have to run a rack at all. But the tent's so new, nobody's come out with them yet, as far as I know. But you could easily fabricate brackets so you could mount this directly to your rain gutter and not need a rack at all. That's how small and narrow this is, and you still can fit 2 people in this thing side by side, which is crazy. It'd be tight, but every 2-person tent is tight. It is what it is. The LT-50 is 49.64 inches wide, or 1,261 millimeters, which is pretty narrow. It's 88.89 inches long, or 2258 millimeters long. And the craziest dimension is it's only 6.7 inches tall, or 172 millimeters. That is crazy. This is definitely the lowest profile tent that's out there of this caliber, because this is made incredibly well. The total weight of this thing with the mattress inside is 111 pounds, which is almost half of what most rooftop tents weigh that are made of solid aluminum. And unlike almost every other tent besides the ALUCAB, you can still keep your bedding, your pillows and such, sleeping bags inside the tent. And you can carry up to 60 pounds or 30 kilograms on top of this tent. One of the standout features of the ALUCAB rooftop tent is its lightweight construction, and it has a nut slot lid and base frame for easy mounting of accessories like the ALUCAB awnings, the shower cubes, ladder brackets, spades, etc. They made this bad boy out of lightweight, high-strength aluminum, which makes it easy to install and transport. And the tent also features a compact, streamlined design that minimizes wind resistance while driving. This thing is a beast. And the reason I went with an ALUCAB, if you followed my channel for any length of time, I have an entire playlist of all the different rooftop tents I've had over the years. And once I got an ALUCAB, it was basically one and done, unless they came out with a better version of my ALUCAB, which they have. So I'll be getting that one fairly soon. But this thing is an absolute animal. I mean, absolute animal. The construction on this is beautiful. The hardware is beautiful. They even use stainless steel's external struts to lift and open this thing. And my biggest fear of sleeping in a rooftop tent on a bad night is having the wind shut the thing on you while you're sleeping, because that would absolutely freak you out. You wake up in a coffin. That would suck, but I digress. Just like its bigger brother, opening this thing is a snap. There's literally 2 high-quality latches. You simply pop them open and the gas struts do the rest. It opens right up, and the telescopic ladder works perfectly with it. And closing it up is as simple as, well, what I'm showing you right here. You simply tuck the sides in, put the elastic thing around the fabric, tuck it in, close it, and latch it up. Now, I would do this a lot quicker, but this wasn't my tent. You see what I'm saying? And I'm also standing on somebody's really expensive Land Cruiser 73, so it took me a little bit longer. But it's 2 beautifully made latches, and they even give you cotter pins to keep it closed. And if you're anything like me, you actually four-wheel your overland vehicle. And the ALUCAB setup is one of the toughest setups there is, because you're not denting it, you're not breaking it, you're not flooding it, you're not ripping it. It's just a beast of a design, which is why I love my ALUCAB. And this is the same exact setup, it's just a little bit smaller. You know what I mean? It's a more compact version. So you really can't beat this thing with a stick. So let's take a look inside this tent, shall we? This tent is very well appointed inside as far as insulation, but otherwise it's very, very Spartan, as it needs to be a lightweight tent, you know, LT-50, lightweight. I apologize that my camera lens is a little dirty. I had just finished filming in the Ozarks, but inside this tent you're going to find a 60 millimeter high density foam mattress with a zip-off cover, dual layer 280 gram UV resistant ripstop canvas with double zippers. The rooftop tent is made from lightweight aluminum, I already told you that. And inside, outside, it's foam insulated top and bottom. That's the difference. That's what makes this thing a worthy 4-season tent. Do you know what I'm saying? You can zip this thing up, and with a diesel heater or a small inside heater, you'll stay just as warm as you will inside an Expedition 3, which I use year-round. As a matter of fact, on this particular date, I've been on the road, living out of the truck for 8 months right now, and I've gone through the entire winter in my ALUCAB and didn't once have to run a diesel heater. A couple of nights I froze my ass off, but it is what it is. It was freezing out. But I didn't feel like lugging my diesel heater, even though I have a really, really well-made one at my house. At any rate. Some of the accessories they have available are a removable fly sheet and a rain cover, a 2-meter spec-built telescopic ladder with rungs that are broad and angled, making it far more comfortable to climb. I have one of these. It's phenomenal. You've got to jump out of your tent in the middle of the night. You can actually do it in bare feet on these ladders. The other ones, not so much. At any rate, a ladder storage bracket, a ladder extension, roof molly plate, a wall mount for the LT-50, a tent to ALUCAB load bar mounting brackets, and universal LT-50 mounting brackets. But I don't know if you need all that stuff. It's your call. But this is the difference. This is why for $1,000 less than a GFC, this thing blows this other one away, because the construction is far more simple. There's no nuts or bolts to come undone. It's all one huge solid piece, and there's more than ample room on top of this to put down 2 100-watt solar panels like I run on top of my ALUCAB now. Just basically, all in all, this is a really serious little tent, and you can't beat it. And if you want to order one of these things, they're in stock right now. Hit up my buddy Rich Perner over at OK 4-Wheel Drive. I'll leave a link in the description box below. And if you're in the Midwest, you can also hit up Jason over at Ozark Overland Outfitters, and he can get one shipped to his shop and then do the install for you. Either way, you're getting a great price on a great tent that is an absolute beast. I can't stress that enough. It cuts the weight in half. It gives you the same construction durability. The interior, the fabric is all ripstop, and it's all replaceable if need be. That's how ALUCAB sets this thing up. They used 316 stainless steel marine grade lift struts for this, and all the bracketry and hardware hinges are phenomenal. And it's T-slotted all the way around so you can mount your accessories. You've also got 3 points of entry on this, either side or in the rear, and you can put your extendable ladder brackets wherever the work for you best. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty customizable. It's just a beautiful setup, in my opinion. And again, I make these videos. You notice that I don't have sponsors on this channel. I get offered constantly, but it's hard to be sponsored and tell people the complete truth. That's why I make these videos. I'm not bashing any other companies. I wanted a GFC so bad, but they never got one to my door. And when I finally saw them, I was glad that I stuck with my ALUCAB because it's just not the same. One of them's made for people that actually overland. One of them's made for people that might need a tent once in a while they're out fishing, hiking, or camping. You see what I'm saying? Or hunting, at any rate. I guess to wrap this up, the biggest selling point about ALUCAB is if you have a problem, you can reach out to Rich Perner at OK 4-Wheel Drive. You can reach out to ALUCAB personally, and they'll make the problem right. I had an issue once where my seal ripped because a tree snagged it while I was wheeling, and it caused the tent to leak. They offered me up a replacement right off the bat, and I went there and then kind of changed my mind because I didn't want to tear the entire top down, because when I built my truck, I integrated my rack, my lights, my awning, and my tent all into one big unit. And I just didn't feel like tearing it all down. But they were right there, ready to do the right thing right off the bat. Not a lot of companies can say that. They're made in South Africa. These boys have been doing this before we even thought about it. And they stand up to anything you can dish out. And over the years, I've put my ALUCAB through some serious testing, we'll call it. You know what I'm saying? At any rate, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment below. I will return the favor. And links to Ozark Overland Outfitters and OK 4-Wheel Drive, as well as ALUCAB, will be in the description box below. I am out.